The Super Mega Baseball series has a reputation, and a good one at that. 2019 Super Mega Baseball 2 was regarded as not only the best baseball game of the year, but as potentially one of the best baseball games of all time. Now, with a lot to live up to, developer Metalhead Software has pulled out all stops on the sequel, Super Mega Baseball 3. But, is it worth your cash? Hey guys, Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications, because today, we're taking a look at Super Mega Baseball 3 on the Nintendo Switch. Super Mega Baseball offers over-the-top character designs that are playing in the game of baseball in a pretty realistic setting. It's a callback to the unlicensed games of yesteryear. Now, the character models themselves are pretty detailed and have a lot of different animations, so from players scratching their rear ends between pitches to slouching after striking out. The variety here gives the game a lot of character. There are quite a few modes on offer in Super Mega Baseball 3. You got Exhibition, Pennant Race, Franchise, Season, and Elimination. Now, Franchise is probably where most players are going to be spending a lot of their time with the game. Now, you can play for multiple years, doing things like re-signing players, developing them, and more. It's pretty robust and will definitely provide lots of playtime for fans. Now, the overall visuals in the Switch version of Super Mega Baseball 3 are pretty good. The ballparks are believable, the players animate and look well, and things like the umpires and the crowd really help bring in a sense of realism. Now, in my time with the game, I rarely, if ever, ran into any slowdown. Now, I will say that there are times that you might notice that some of the smaller details, such as the grass or logos on the players' helmets, look a little bit low resolution, but you probably won't notice this at quick glance. But if you're on the lookout for it, well, you probably won't be able to unsee it like me. This is what I do when I'm reviewing games, but it's not that big of a deal. And, you know, that's not to say that the visuals here in the Switch version are bad or anything like that. Far from it. These are just a few little nitpicks that I had overall. I just want to mention here, too, that the game runs at around 60 frames a second. Unfortunately, with the capture equipment that I have right now, I'm not be able to showcase that off. But just be aware that if you buy the game, you're going to be seeing it in a higher frame rate than what you're seeing right now. Now, when it comes to the audio of the game, it's definitely one of the strong points here. Every sound of the bat, the gloves, crowd, the umpire calling the strikes and balls and all that stuff, they really do help bring life to Super Mega Baseball 3. Pitching in Super Mega Baseball 3 feels pretty good, so after selecting your pitch with the right analog stick, you hit the A button to fire it in. So during the brief wind-up, you will have to control the exact location of the ball, as it won't go directly where you want it to go. Now here, you're trying to get it as close to an on-screen cursor as you can. The further away you are, the chances of performing a wild pitch increases. Now, I really like this pitching system. It's fun, and it provides a little bit more interactivity with this aspect of the game. Now, fielding is simple, and by default, the CPU assists where your fielders run, though you can take control at any time. Now, honestly, I left this on during my time with the game. It feels like judging pop-ups would be a little difficult without it, to be perfectly honest here. Now, dives and jumps are also a part of your repertoire here, and can be activated with the shoulder buttons. Now, timing these perfectly are paramount for stopping the incoming balls. Now, the mechanics of throwing to the bases, they're simple enough. I mean, with the 4 face buttons representing the bases. Now, in an interesting and somewhat realistic twist, after pressing the button to whatever base you want to throw to, a slider appears on the screen. Now, if you time it correctly, the ball will go exactly where you need it to go for an easy out. Now, if you make a mistake, you increase your chances of a wild throw. Again, as with pitching, this simple addition is awesome. And unlike other baseball games that usually do this at random, mistakes here fall more on the player themselves rather than the will of CPU randomness or anything like that. Batting's pretty easy to get the hang of. I mean, you can do the normal stuff here. You can bunt, perform a regular swing, and there's even a power swing you can do with the Y button. Now, a cursor is in place that can be moved around to improve where you're going to be contacting the ball. Now, like the CPU-assisted fielding, the default controls here have an AI assisting you to make hits. Now, this makes the game immediately accessible to even novice fans of the sport, and honestly, it felt pretty good. One thing you might notice when playing here, the whole experience feels a little bit slow when compared to other baseball games. Now, whether this is a good or bad thing, that's kind of just depends on what you want from the genre. Now, I will say it does take some getting used to, and overall, I think it feels pretty good. The intentional slowdown after the hits is a cool effect, and it really helps you kind of decide what you want to do on defense. Now, even if you find it kind of annoying or it looks kind of off-putting to you, I'd say it's definitely worth giving the game a chance, with every aspect of the gameplay here being really, really spot on. Finding the right difficulty might be a little bit annoying. However, this slider that's available to do this, it's a pretty easy way to make adjustments. So if you find yourself tearing apart other teams, a quick boost up in the levels will do the trick. Now, it's not just relegated to overall difficulty here either. You can even switch to a mode that has you controlling the difficulty of various aspects of the gameplay. Now, this level of customizations allows you to adjust the game to suit pretty much any level of play that you want. So that's pretty cool. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest here too. I'm usually not a huge fan of non-licensed sports games. Now, you may be wondering to yourself why that is. Well, as opposed to licensed game with teams and players that I'm familiar with, I find there to be a bit of a barrier of entry given the fact that I have no affinity for any of the players or teams coming in, at least initially. Now, I'm sure there are others of you out there that think like this as well. Now, while I don't think I've completely 100% bought in just yet, some of the names of the characters, like Junior Young Junior and Junior Young Senior, come to mind. The team names and the stadiums, they do grow on you. Now, I realize this might seem like a pretty minor thing to bring up, but I surely can't be the only one to think this way. Now, even with that said, don't let that be the only reason to keep you from trying out this game. Super Mega Baseball 3 is an easy game to get into for gamers of all levels. The ability to adjust the difficulty and the general ease of play ensures that almost anyone can jump in and get used to it. Now, the game might seem a bit slow-paced at first glance, especially when compared to other baseball games out there, but the solid gameplay mechanics make this a complete non-issue. Now, if you can buy in to the crafted league and the players here, you will definitely find yourself having a good time with the game. Now, even if you can't do that, you really shouldn't sleep on this game. There are tons of features and modes that will make it well worth the money. My final score for Super Mega Baseball 3 on the Nintendo Switch, 9 out of 10. As always, thanks for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please give this video a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcasts, video reviews, special videos, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.